Groups like ISIL can destroy us. They can defeat us. They're not an existential threat to us.
Air Force pilot and Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger goes on the record. Good evening, sir. And the president has been quoted as saying that ISIS is not an existential threat to us. But then, of course, we have in Orlando, we have a killer going in and executing 49 innocents and saying that he's pledged allegiance to Baghdadi, who is the head of ISIS. So it is an existential threat to us. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a serious threat. I mean, look, you know, the reality is we have people that are dying every day from ISIS, both in the Middle East, and now we see it reaches out and touches the West, Orlando, San Bernardino, this terrible attack in Turkey. You know, look, we won't be defeated. I mean, the president's right when he says we can't be defeated, but we have to have the will to defeat the enemy. And right now, what it seems to be is a president that is intent on managing the problem, maybe somewhat containing it to the Middle East, except he's not containing it because ISIS continues to project outward. And they say, well, this is a result of them being defeated in the Middle East. They don't seem very defeated to me. And that's a very big disconnect between the bureaucracies of Washington, D.C. and the folks on the ground that are having to live with their existence every day.
Well, I don't think you can deny either that there are other groups that have been spawned around the globe that are declaring allegiance to ISIS. You've got, about 3 weeks ago, a Canadian was beheaded in the Philippines from some ISIS supporting or affiliate group. You've got everything that's going on in Africa, North Africa. You've got Brussels, you've got Paris, you've got Turkey, you've got Orlando, San Bernardino. I mean, you've got all these people who are declaring allegiance to ISIS I mean, it doesn't seem like we're winning this war on ISIS to me.
No, it doesn't, and the problem is we can win. I mean, this is relatively easy to win. It's going to take investment, but relatively easy. But here's the issue. I always kind of jokingly say, when the Bulls are doing really well, everybody in downtown Chicago is wearing a Bulls jersey. This is what you have in ISIS. They're seeming to be successful, and so all these other jihadist, Islamic jihadist groups, which I have no problem saying, are swearing allegiance to ISIS. And so that's why defeating them in their caliphate is so important, because, you know, for instance, in Orlando, this shooter would never have had an Islamic State to swear allegiance to without the Islamic State. So if we eliminate them in Raqqa, we eliminate their territory. It doesn't have to be all U.S. troops on the ground. Nobody's saying that, but bringing our alliances in together. If you believe that ISIS is some prophecy inspired by the Quran, and all of a sudden ISIS is defeated and crushed, you begin to rethink whether or not this was actually inspired by the Quran in the first place. Right now, these people that are prone to jihadism actually believe, because of what they were seeing, that this may be as prophesied.
Congressman, thank you for joining us, sir.
You bet, Greta. Thank you.